Alright guys, so here's my 1-year review of Starlink internet service. I live out here on a dirt road and basically what most people around, at least locally, would consider the middle of nowhere. Now you go out west, there's actually really middle of nowheres, but this, there was not much cell service here. There was nothing offered as far as internet besides Viasat and HughesNet. And my buddy Mike told me about Starlink, and I decided to pull the trigger. I got in during the Better Than Nothing beta introduction, so I ordered it and I had it 3 weeks later. It was very fast, and I've absolutely loved the internet service that I've gotten from Starlink ever since then. I've never been able to watch Netflix or YouTube on the TV. I couldn't never ever upload a video, and I make YouTube videos all the time. I would have to take my laptop to work or to McDonald's or something like that, let it upload in the background while I'm doing other stuff, and basically just use other people's Wi-Fi. That's the only way I could upload videos to YouTube or anything like that. So this has been a game changer for the homestead. I can upload videos normally on average around 20 megabits per second, and that's actually increased over time. It was like 12 to 15 at first, which is great when you're used to like 0.3 Mbps upload speed. As far as the service goes, there's nothing that I can say bad about it. Even on the cloudiest, darkest, rainiest, windiest, snowiest days, this thing still provides unbelievable speeds. I'm talking over 100 megabits per second. I don't think I've seen under 100 megabits per second since like the first couple months that I had it. It's only increased. When I first got it, there was maybe a couple times a day where you'd have like a 30-second outage, 30-second, maybe a minute outage. And that was because Musk didn't have the satellites in the sky to get complete coverage 24 hours a day. And he disclaimed that when you bought it. He said, look, you're probably gonna see a couple times a day where you can't get internet, and it's gonna be very brief, and it was. So, aside from that, it's been extremely reliable, very fast, and just a complete game changer from what I was able to get up here before. So my nearest neighbor is like a quarter mile that way, and about 1.5 years, maybe 2 years ago, Spectrum Internet brought cable up my road, and they stopped at my neighbor's house. So they were up here working for like 2 weeks. I asked them, when are you going to bring it up to my house? They said, I don't know, that's above my pay grade. I called Spectrum. I called everybody at Spectrum. I said, come on, I'm like a quarter mile up the road. I'll be a lifetime customer. I have no other choices. They said $17,000 to run it from my neighbor's house to my house. Obviously that was out of the question. I wasn't paying that. So my buddy told me about Starlink. I was hesitant. It was $500 deposit, $500 for the equipment, but they didn't tell you when you would get the equipment. They didn't guarantee a date that you'd get the equipment. Just you're basically paying $500 to get the equipment. I put in my address. It said I was eligible for the Better Than Nothing beta Starlink test period, and I put in my address and I pulled the trigger. Well, at that time it was very limited areas that they were doing it, and I think what Starlink was trying to do is, all right, let's put a few Starlink kits here, let's put a few Starlink kits there, let's put a few Starlink kits over here. We'll get our name out, we'll get people talking about it. And they wanted to, it was basically their way of advertising. Let's do this the cheap way. We can put a Starlink kit, in Caton, New York. We can put one over here in New York, and people are going to start talking about it. It'll sell itself. And honestly, it did. So I have a few friends that, didn't know about it, or either didn't know about it or didn't jump on it at the beginning, and now they're on the waiting list, and it's going to take a while if they wanted to get it. All right, so what are the downfalls or downsides to Starlink? One, I would say there's no contracts, which is good. So if I wanted to cancel my Starlink tomorrow, I would pay whatever I owed for this month and I'd be done. I wouldn't owe any extra money. Where HughesNet and Viasat, I would owe whatever the balance of the contract or whatever they have in the contract, but I wouldn't be out free and clear. I would have to pay something. But on the flip side of that, Musk just sent out an email, or Starlink just sent out an email saying that my price is increasing from $100 to $110 every month. $10 is not a big deal to me. Honestly, I'd pay $150, $200 a month for this internet. Don't tell Musk that, but I would, because I have no other options here. You know, I'm between a rock and a hard place. It's great, it's fast internet, but I don't have any other options. So, you know, it's not like I can just say, all right, I'm done with Starlink and go somewhere else. So that's both a plus and a negative. The other downside is it's a $500 equipment fee. Now, if I didn't want my Starlink tomorrow, I could probably sell that to somebody and they could reprogram it for their address. And actually, this is supposed to be sometime this year, and I think it actually may already be mobile. So if I wanted to take this out to Ohio and put it on my RV, it should work, at least, if not now, sometime this year. That was what Musk was saying. So we'll see how that works out. But if I wanted to sell it to somebody else, say I moved back to wherever, someplace that I could get cable internet, or say I moved to Elmira or something, you know, I could probably sell this equipment or leave it here, you know, and it would increase the value of the home, whatever, you know. I'm not probably out that whole $500 if I didn't want the Starlink kit anymore. I think the biggest thing that's going to upset people is Starlink's email that they just sent out, where I told you about the price increase per month, said that the price for the equipment is also increasing from $500 to $550, and that applies to people that have already put a deposit down. I don't agree with that. You know, it doesn't affect me, but I don't think that's right. If you put a deposit down on something and you expect it to be a certain price, or you agree on a certain price, granted, there's no contracts, but still, to say, all right, put a $50 deposit down on this $500 equipment package, and then all of a sudden it goes up to $550, I have a problem with that. I think a lot of people are going to have a problem with that. Would I still pay it? Absolutely, but just be upfront and honor that $500 for the people that have already put deposits down. I don't think that's going to make or break Elon Musk. So, you know, I think that's a little disappointing. We'll see. I've seen some people on like a Facebook Starlink page that I follow that have said they were canceling their equipment. Fine, you know, I don't think you're gonna hurt. You're definitely not gonna hurt the company or Musk or anybody like that. And granted, inflation has increased through the roof. You know, Biden administration is saying 7.5%, but is it really 7.5%? No, it's, you know, it's probably 20-30% on most of the things we buy. Fuel is up, you know, 100%. So I don't know, would I change anything? Absolutely not. I would buy this again in a heartbeat at $550 for the equipment, at $110 for the monthly fee. Even if the price increased monthly, I would still buy this internet, because I can go down and I can upload this video. I'll probably upload this video tonight, and it'll be uploaded tonight and on my page tonight. Whereas, you know, if I wanted to do that before, it would take like 2 extra days. If I wanted to pull any content offline or something for my video, if I wanted to upload it, I would have to make a special trip out, or like I said, take my laptop to work. It was a huge pain. So honestly, I love it. I think maybe there's some things that could definitely be improved, but overall, I'm very happy with it. So I love the service. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you on the next video.